Live from Southwest Florida's news source. This is Fox 4 News at 11.
Our families' lives will never be the same. We'll never get to talk to them, see them again.
A family member speaking out tonight for the first time about the tragic double murder in Lehigh Acres that took the life of his half-brother and his stepmother. He's opening up only to 4 in Your Corner's Matt Grant.
It's a call no one wants to get.
I said, Dalton and Amy are dead.
Now, more than a week later, Brad Haley is flipping through old photos, but he can't hide the pain in his heart.
Their life has changed forever. Yeah. You know, that gap will never be filled.
That gap was created on April 8th when investigators say 17-year-old Clayton Combs and 16-year-old Justin Worth drove to this Lehigh Acres home where Worth allegedly shot and killed Dalton, a shy, polite teen, then gunned down his mother, Amy Laura. Investigators say the pair made off with $370.
This is like a movie. This is something that doesn't happen to someone you know, much less your own family members, that this is something that they make up movies about. I mean, it doesn't seem real.
The reality hitting close to home for Haley, who says Dalton and the suspects were friends. In fact, he says Worth, the accused shooter, reportedly lived with them for almost a year.
Ultimately, to find out it was one of my brother's friends and someone who had lived there under the roof, who she had taken care of, it just, you know, it makes me sick to my stomach.
But what made him even more sick is what he says Justin Worth did the next day.
One of my brother's good friends I spoke to today actually shook Justin's hand during the week, was wearing a shirt that said R.I.P. Dalton on it.
He believes the suspects also sent flowers to the funeral, which he had removed. The tragic killings leaving behind more questions than answers, and the hope for justice.
It's a hole in our hearts that we'll never be able to fill. You know, they're in a better place, and have faith that one day, you know, we will see them again.
Matt Grant, Fox 4 in Your Corner.
Haley says he wants the suspects to be tried as adults. He says if they are found guilty, he wants them to, quote, rot in jail. He says the death penalty would be the easy way out here. And students who went to school with those murder suspects saying they're shocked because both boys were active with sports. They were even good friends with the young victim, often going over to his house just to hang out. Friends are also saying the boys were not acting any different the day after the murder.
Clayton's was acting normal as could be, and he was in weight training with us, working out. Nothing seemed off.
Friends saying Clayton was one of the first to post on this Facebook page, R.I.P. Dalton William Haley. That message now removed after this angry poster wrote, "Could someone please take off Clayton Combs from here? It disgusts me."
A Port Charlotte cabbie is behind bars tonight, accused of giving marijuana and alcohol to 4 middle school students for close to a year and then wanting sex in return. The girls, ages 12 to 14, say that they never had sex with 47-year-old Eric Bird, who was allegedly picking them up from school in his cab. So Fox 4 asked the school district if it was standard practice for students to be picked up by a cab. We found out there is no policy in place.
Do you think the school district, as a result of what happened, should possibly change policy?
We don't want something like this to happen again. I will say that. I know that this will be looked at by the superintendent.
Bird has since been fired from his job. He is currently awaiting trial. A deadly shooting claiming the life of a Fort Myers man. Now police are looking for the gunman. Officers tell us they received a report of shots fired near Jackson Street and Maples Avenue early Sunday morning. Detectives say 21-year-old Jamel James was found shot at the scene. He later died at Lee Memorial Hospital. Witnesses say they saw several men in ski masks leaving the area just after the gunfire. If you can help solve this case, you don't have to give your name when you call Crime Stoppers. The number, 1-800-780-TIPS.
Another gorgeous day here in Southwest Florida. Jim getting all kinds of pictures. Overwhelmed, you even said.
Yeah, it seemed like they all came in about a 15-minute period, about a half hour after sunset. Our temperatures right now are very comfortable. If you have a spare 15 minutes this evening, and I know it's late, it's after 11, but if you have 15 minutes to maybe take a late evening constitutional around the block, nice walk, Seriously, I was just outside. And it's beautiful. 71 our temperature right now in Bonita, 73 in the Cape. We have winds still at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. That breeze, I love a breeze. I love a little breeze, especially when the air is dry like it is right now. The dry air not going to stick around, though. I think as we get to the end of the week, in the evenings and in the mornings, probably going to have a little bit of moisture on the windshield as the humidity will be increasing. But what a great sunset. Eric and Mary Feichthal are charter members of the Storm Patrol, whom we hadn't heard from for a while, but they check in with that great weather photo. More of your pictures, and we'll talk about an increasing rain chance in the forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Jim. If you ever see any weather happening or even just a great sunset like you saw there, snap a picture, take a quick video with your phone, and send it to us at stormpatrol@fox4now.com. Who knows, you may see it during one of our newscasts. We love to share those. An upcoming Fox 4 investigative report shines a spotlight on brutal fights involving teenagers. Now 3 people face criminal charges. The Lee County Sheriff's arresting 36-year-old Angela Harrison, her husband, 27-year-old Brandon Harrison, and their son, who is a minor. They're accused of hosting and promoting MMA-style boxing matches in their Lehigh Acres backyard. Fox 4 investigator Colleen Hogan has been working this story for weeks now. She has more on how the arrests happened.
I got a tip from worried parents who found out their teenage son was taking part in the fights behind their back. So I started digging deeper on this and asking tough questions to law enforcement. And we do want to warn you, some of the video you're about to see is very graphic.
This could have gone bad. And I have to say, I applaud your efforts because you recognize this. You knew this was a big story, that our kids were in danger.
That's Sergeant Stephanie Eller with the Lee County Sheriff's Office. For weeks, I've been investigating the dangers of an illegal teen fight club taking place in the backyards and woods of Southwest Florida. In these Facebook videos, dozens of teens violently beat each other while a crowd gathers to watch, including some little kids. The parents who brought the fights to my attention had contacted the sheriff's office before, but were told nothing could be done because the teens were agreeing to fight. So I took their concerns and the videos to the Lee County Sheriff's Office, which started its own investigation.
They went into action right away, and they were able to get in touch with the school resource officer at the school that was involved. And that school resource officer was able to identify individuals in those pictures and get some information.
Deputies tracked down the house where they believed some of the fights had been staged and videotaped and held the parents accountable.
They had, in fact, arranged fights, which is illegal. They were not licensed fights. It is a felony in the state of Florida, and all 3 were arrested.
The mom and dad have since bonded out of jail, but now await formal charges for promoting and sponsoring a prohibited boxing match, a 3rd-degree felony. They're scheduled to appear in court again on May 14th.
They're definitely going to have to answer to why they thought this was a good idea.
Now, I'm still working on my investigation into these fights. Coming up on Monday, April 30th, you'll hear from the parents who actually blew the whistle on the violence and those taking part in the fights. You'll also see how something so violent involving your kids could actually happen right in your own neighborhood. Colleen Hogan, Fox 4 in your corner.
Hundreds of new jobs coming to Southwest Florida, and it's all thanks to Arthrex in Naples and its expansion in Ave Maria. Today, the company broke ground on a manufacturing plant on Oil Well Road. Arthrex will be filling more than 500 jobs. Governor Rick Scott, along with dozens of other politicians and business leaders, were there for the groundbreaking.
We're going to make sure that companies like Arthrex can do well because their taxes are lower, because it's easier to get a permit, because we don't have regulation that kills jobs.
Construction begins in about 2 weeks. It should be completed by spring of 2013. Hey, while the governor was in town, we asked him about the hundreds of state appointments set to expire because the legislature didn't approve them. This includes several positions on the Edison State College Board of Trustees. The governor is on a time limit now to nominate them again, and today said that he should know by next week whether or not he will reappoint them next year.
Working on your tan while getting tipsy? Will a new ordinance let more businesses serve you a brew on Fort Myers Beach?
A stolen penguin paddling his way to safety, how he ended up so far away from home.
Got a kid going to college? The grant to look out for that'll take your money instead of giving it to you. More on that next.
A new scam is targeting students, so we're looking for some help to pay for college. Authorities say that they got a call on their fraud line from a college student who was reportedly scammed out of nearly $1,000. Well, that caller thought it was a legitimate grant program. The scammer told her that she qualified for financial aid, and all she had to do to get it was make a donation to charity for sick children by wiring him money. Experts say that if someone tells you they need money up front before they can offer you any information or assistance, take that as a huge red flag. Also look out for promises of prizes to divert your attention, and avoid anything that requires your credit card number, social security number, or bank account number to get you started.
Good news tonight. One of the largest car dealers in the country opening a new store right here in Southwest Florida, and they are looking to hire. Used car retailer CarMax is building a 45,000 square foot facility on Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. That is set to open this June, right around the corner. Right now, they're planning to hire 80 people for positions ranging from sales reps to car mechanics. And we have got a link on how you can apply when you click on the big red 4 at fox4now.com. And while you're there, you can also check out even more job openings right here in Southwest Florida. Just go to the Workers Wanted page.
Love that. Love this next story too. Special discounts for certain someones. If you've got a job in a specific field, how you can save if you want to adopt a new forever friend.
Taking a swig while swimming in the Gulf? Why some residents are dead set against allowing more businesses to help you get toasty on Fort Myers Beach. Next.
Well, not a bad end of the day for Jim Williams, who managed to take this picture and send it to us at Storm Patrol at fox4now.com. The sunsets may be looking a little bit different by the end of the week, and it may be feeling a little bit different in Southwest Florida. I'll explain. Talk about some changes coming up.
A heated debate tonight about whether all businesses should be allowed to serve alcohol on Fort Myers Beach. Many residents telling council members the proposed ordinance would ruin tourism and the environment. 4 Your Corner's Mike Mason bringing us both sides of this issue.
About 100 Fort Myers Beach residents showed up tonight to tell council members one thing: don't allow booze on the beach.
It's going to create trash, it's going to create traffic, it's going to create chaos, and it's going to change the beach.
Fort Myers Beach staff members recommended approving an ordinance to allow businesses adjacent to the water to serve alcohol right on the sandy beaches. At this point, only certain businesses can do that, including the Lani Kai. Scott Van Salau was one of the only people at the meeting who supported the ordinance.
I think it's okay because you're giving people an area that is looked over, it's taken care of, and people are going to be responsible to make sure that their customers are taken care of and things are done right.
Van Salau owns the Mermaid Lounge and Liquor Store, and the ordinance would benefit his business. Lifelong residents spoke out against the ordinance, saying it would turn the beaches into a chaotic party zone and hurt the environment.
This is a family island. We're trying to maintain the family island atmosphere here, and we're not against a little bit of drinking. I mean,
we asked folks out on the beach tonight what they thought about the issue.
Yeah, it would be good for business for sure if everyone else is allowed to. Because more people would want to go over there and spend their time and money over there at that business.
Mike Mason, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, so after hours of discussion tonight, council decided very late tonight not to make a decision. They did table the issue so they could look into some of the questions that residents brought up at tonight's meeting. Council will bring up the issue again at a workshop that'll be on May 14th at 9 a.m. We'll keep you posted with how that goes. Tonight, Fort Myers City officials are discussing a plan that would put restrictions on internet cafes and adult arcades in the city. One restriction would regulate the proximity of the businesses to homes, schools, libraries, and churches. Some say the adult arcades are a late-night distraction. City Council says they'll continue the discussion next month.
A string of recent brush fires in Southwest Florida is prompting a burn ban request in Charlotte County. That burn ban would restrict the public from any open fires. It would also restrict any fireworks within the county. As of today, public firework displays have been canceled. The County Commission will have to approve the burn ban before it goes into effect, and of course, we'll keep you posted with the results. Heads up for boaters. Yeah, there's a new free tool that could help you out there on the water. Seato is launching a new mobile app for smartphones. The app gives you fingertip access to marine weather forecasts, alerts, and radar. You can also look up tide tables and access GPS navigation. The app is available for free for both the iPhone and the Android smartphone.
Now, your Storm Patrol weather forecast with Jim Zion.
We can sure use some rain in Southwest Florida. We're not going to get it in the short term, so let's just enjoy the great weather we're seeing right now, because I hate to say this, but I was doing the math in my head. Here we are, middle of April, middle of May. That's when things start to get humid for us. So we've got about another 3-4 weeks where we can enjoy relatively nice afternoons. Paige Roush, obviously enjoying the day, sending that picture into Storm Patrol at fox4now.com. Look at Gene Baber on Fort Myers Shores. Managed to get some of that sun. Just kind of knifing through the cloud there just before sunset. Candace Crespo actually had a cloud that looked a little threatening in her community earlier today. That cloud, though, likely not producing any rain because we were mainly dry and will be mainly dry again tomorrow. Mostly clear to start your day first thing in the morning. Southeasterly wind at 5 to 7 miles per hour. Now, the wind's going to increase a bit for us, and it will be a little bit breezy late morning, early afternoon. Those winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, but by the late afternoon, the wind should start to back off a little bit. 85 degrees at 5 is tomorrow. Your high temperature, like today, is going to be in the mid-80s, actually upper 80s, I should say. Here's Storm Patrol Viper. Looking for that much needed rain, and yes, it's finding it. It's just not finding it here in Southwest Florida. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the southeast. Heaviest rain in the Gulf of Mexico right now. This is that same system that brought over 100 tornadoes on Saturday. More strong thunderstorms Sunday, and up to a foot of snow, as we told you earlier in this broadcast, a foot of snow in portions of Minnesota. Now just scattered thunderstorms leaving Mississippi, moving into Alabama, eventually getting into Georgia, although they're not going to get a lot of rain in Georgia. They will get a lot of rain, however, in New Orleans. They've already had some scattered thunderstorms that really weren't moving all that much, but this is the area of rain that they're going to be watching. Should be moving in about 2-3 o'clock in the morning or so. And these thunderstorms are still pretty active, still have a lot of lightning out there, although most of the lightning now is out in the Gulf of Mexico. Now that front, and it's kind of a stationary front at this point, it's moving very, very slowly. This front is going to get closer to us, and it's going to be a player for us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because it's going to move down. It's going to push high pressure a little bit farther to the south. We're going to start to see an onshore wind flow ahead of this front. Onshore winds usually mean more humidity, and probably going to start to see a few showers pop up in the afternoon starting Wednesday. Granted, with that onshore wind, they'll mainly be inland. Now, as we go through the day on Tuesday, here you go at 5 o'clock, not much cloud cover. Wednesday, though, bingo, a little more cloudiness, onshore wind, helping to trigger a couple of showers. They'll mainly be over the interior, moving toward the other coast. That'll be the case Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Not that the coast won't see any rain, but the majority of it, I think, is going to be east of I-75. Different story, though, on Saturday. That's when a front moves through, and that's when our weather changes. Unfortunately, Saturday looks to be, well, it's going to bring us the best chance for rain that we've seen in a while. Southeasterly winds for the boaters before they become onshore at about 10 to 15 knots. Mostly sunny skies in the forecast tomorrow. Then an isolated shower Wednesday and Thursday. The chance for rain officially only at 20%, but by Saturday, the chance for rain goes up to 40%. High temperatures should be in the mid-80s on Saturday, and then we start to get a little bit cooler Sunday and Monday. Mornings actually getting back down into the 50s by Monday. So Saturday, scattered thunderstorms with a chance for rain at 40%. Sunday dry, so Sunday quite obviously looking like right now the better of the 2 days this weekend. That is your Storm Patrol forecast.
If you have been pondering a furry friend, you may be in luck. Lee County Animal Services offering a special pet adoption deal if you're a public service employee. It's beginning this week. Anyone who works in social services, law enforcement, or any other public service job can adopt a puppy or a kitten for just $25 or an adult pet for $8. The deal includes licenses, vaccinations, and a bag of pet food. You can't beat it. This runs through May 15th, and for more information, we've got a link on fox4now.com when you click on the big red 4. A local food bank looking for your help to try and win $1 million. The Harry Chapin Food Bank taking part in Walmart's Fighting Hunger Together Facebook campaign. Walmart will pick one community charity with the most votes on Facebook for the $1 million prize, and we have got a link on our Facebook page for you to vote. And remember, very important, everyone can vote every single day until April 30th. A couple weeks left, so get out there and vote. It's definitely worth it.
I think I'll be voting too. All right, tax day doesn't have to be all that bad. Many local businesses are actually offering up some pretty big discounts. Fast food giant Arby's offering free curly fries. Chili's will give you a free appetizer or the dessert of your choice. You can get 15% off at P.F. Chang's tomorrow, or get 20 boneless wings for $10 at Hooters. Sonic is running happy hour all day long, so you get slushies and fountain drinks half off. Boston Market is offering a free meal with the purchase of another meal and a drink.
All I saw was dessert at Chili's. I never got past it.
You perked
dessert
up.
at Chili's.
All right. Hey, a kitten just hours old is fighting for her life. What she went through that earned her the name Survivor.
A toddler taken for a terrifying ride when his father's car was stolen. How he got himself home. Next. A 3-year-old boy finding safety with strangers after going for a scary ride with a carjacker. Get this, the boy's dad leaves him in the car while he runs into 7-Eleven. When the father comes out, his car and his son were missing. The little boy somehow made it out of the car and then wandered up to a stranger's door wearing only pajamas and asking for help.
The little boy was completely calm, completely, I need help, I want to find my daddy. We were asking him, where's your family? And he kept saying, he told me I have to leave.
Police don't know how the little boy got out of the stolen car. That was my first question, too. The suspect in this case is still at large. They also do not have a suspect description, but they're looking for the missing vehicle. A stolen penguin is back safe and sound with his family and friends. Dirk the fairy penguin was stolen from the Australian SeaWorld over the weekend. The kidnappers were allegedly drunk and woke up in their apartment to find Dirk waddling around. The suspects then panicked and released him into a nearby river. A couple saw him swimming along and called police, who took Dirk home. Thank goodness.
Well, curiosity almost got the best of this little cat. Yeah, this little guy got stuck inside a fence pipe just hours after he was born. Fortunately, some kids playing nearby heard the kitten's desperate meows. Firefighters were called to the scene. They managed to free the kitten by carefully cutting the pipe with a saw. The kids named the kitten Survivor.
So cute.
Love that. All right, a man being called a hero by the victim of a sexual assault. The man was woken up by his wife's hysterical cries that a woman was being assaulted in the alley next to their house. So he armed himself with a shovel and chased the assailant for nearly 3 blocks before nabbing him and calling the cops.
He says, I think if anybody would have come across a situation like that, I think they probably would have reacted the same way.
Well, that assailant tried to tell the Good Samaritan he knew the victim. No one bought that story. The suspect is behind bars and is charged with aggravated criminal sexual assault and attempted robbery. Trying to wow judges with some wild... You got to see this next story.
Woo! What this brazen boy is auditioning for.
Work it, work it.
Coming up next. You don't want to miss that one.
All right, it was high kicks and high heels at the Denver Broncos cheerleading tryouts.
But there was one person who was without teased hair and full face of makeup. Watch this.
I'm going to try out to be the first male Broncos cheerleader ever.
Ever! More than 200 people turned out for tryouts. Unfortunately, Sasha, there he is in all of his glory. He didn't make it past the first round. I was really hoping that he would make it. He says he's going to continue practicing and he is going to be back for tryouts on the squad again next year. I think he's given a lot of hope to men out there. There's a place for everybody. He's not giving up.
A+ for enthusiasm, that's for sure.
Jimmy, you look dumbfounded by this one.
No, I'm just hoping that maybe, I think that image has been burned in my retinas. I'm afraid to go to bed tonight. Mostly sunny with a high of 87 tomorrow, a little more humid by Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Have a good one.